Octopus Prime, bringing back the Cooter Report.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna bag me some horn kickers tonight.
Let's see who we got this week.
Ever since human beings have been on the planet, sea levels have risen relative to ground levels. Why is that? Any of you can opine as you wish.
Well, I'd be happy to address that. Sea levels over the last 3 million years have gone up and down in line with the cycles of ice ages and interglacials, and I can expound on the science of that if you wish. The last 100-year increase in sea level rise, as I mentioned earlier, has clearly been attributed to human activities, greenhouse
That
gas
wasn't
emissions.
my question. I appreciate you wanting to expound on that.
Yeah.
My statement is that since human beings have been on Earth, sea levels have risen. What are the factors that have caused it to rise?
And he's trying to give you an answer, but you just want something really quick and simple, I can tell. And don't worry, Representative Brooks here is going to eventually, at the end of this clip, tell us exactly what he thinks is contributing to the sea levels rising. If you can't tell, he's a climate change denier.
Well, as I said, sea levels have gone up and down.
I'm talking net, not fluctuations. Let's assume for a moment that what you're talking about has some kind of factual, rational basis for it, that ice has melted. Are there other factors?
No, look,
No, there are not other factors?
looking at
Yes
the
or no?
history of sea level rise is very informative. And one of the things we see, for example, is that the last time the global temperature was as high as it is.
Hey, Dr. Duffy, you're not answering my question again.
Okay.
Hey, Representative Mo Brooks, you're not listening to the answer again. It's not as simple as yes and no. Like, there are factors, and he's trying to explain this to you because you're not a fucking expert. He is. He's an expert with this shit. You should probably take a couple minutes of your time and listen to him try and explain this shit to you, because you're just a moron that doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground, and you won't listen to the people who do know what they're talking about.
I'm conceding for the moment that there has been ice meltage compared to what it was 3 million years ago, whatever, since that's the time frame you use. I'm asking another question, that is, what other factors have caused the sea levels to rise relative to dry land? Does anyone else have any? I mean, in particular, Dr. Duffy, you said that they're going to be massive. Isn't that the word that you use in your remarks? Massive sea level rises. Don't you think if you're going to have that kind of statement, you ought to have some idea as to what all the causes of sea level rises have been?
Sure.
Since
And
human beings have been on Earth?
if you're referring to ground subsidence, that is a factor in some regions.
Okay, what else? That's one. So now we've gotten two. What else?
Ground subsidence is not going to cause the levels of sea level rise that arouse my concern.
I'm just asking for factors. I was not asking for your prioritizing of one over the other, but you've mentioned two. What else?
This fucking idiot. He's literally saying, like, as if this guy was his doctor, and he goes in and he goes, well, I don't feel so hot, doctor. And the doctor's like, well, you've got stage 4 cancer, and that's why you don't feel good. And the guy's like, well, what are all the factors? He's like, well, you also have a hangnail, but that's probably shouldn't be your biggest concern. It's not the thing that is really fucking you over right now. The hangnail is the least of your concerns. Probably should be focusing on the stage 4 cancer. You understand?
Those are all that I know of.
What about erosion? Every single year that we're on Earth, you have huge tons of silt deposited by the Mississippi River, by the Amazon River, by the Nile, by every major river system, and for that matter, creek, all the way down to the smallest systems. And every time you have that soil or rock or whatever it is that is deposited into the seas, that forces the sea levels to rise, because now you've got less space in those oceans because the bottom is moving up. What about
I'm pretty
the
sure
White
that's
Cliffs of Dover, California, where you have the waves crashing against the shorelines, and time again, you're having the cliffs crash into the sea. All of that displaces water, which forces it to rise, does it not?
I'm pretty sure that on human timescales, those are minuscule effects.
Like he was just told, it's a minuscule factor. He's literally talking about fucking like land erosion, as in like the side of a cliff kind of like slips away into the ocean, as that being the cause for rising fucking sea levels. And what about when a whole bunch of people go to the beach? Huh? Like, there's not enough room in the ocean for all that water. So obviously the more people go to the beach, like the sea levels rise during the weekend because more people go to the beach and they displace all that water, because that's how that works, right? You complete fucking moron. Jesus. I did want to have a little bit of fun and look through some of the comments. We've got, I think Rocks for Brains is causing America to fall. Forget gun laws and restrictions. We need intelligence and education laws. I'm surprised Mo Brooks didn't mention the most significant factor, which is that every time a fish pees or poops, sea levels rise by a huge amount. It's honestly amazing that Americans can elect such idiots to hold office. It is, isn't it? Damn, America, why do you keep electing morons? Someone says, you lost the senator as soon as you express a view that the earth is older than 6,000 years. As someone else will allude to here, that he is from Alabama, so he is almost certainly a fundamentalist and creationist. These people do not believe in education, so no wonder he is profoundly ignorant. And I tend to agree with that. He's actually the smartest Republican in Congress, somebody says. Why ask questions if you're not going to allow the man to answer? And I mean, to be honest, the guy is under like a time limit, but these are not dumbed down things that you can just get, in a yes or no. Because if you just want yes or no answers to complicated stuff, then you are just being disingenuous or lazy. Let's see. Our best and brightest having to deal with the idiocy of the common lawmaker. Such a shame. I tend to agree with that. A lawyer from Alabama thinks he knows better than a man with a BS in astrophysics from Harvard and a PhD in physics from Stanford and a Nobel Peace Prize. Oh, Jesus. And we're heading back to the Dark Ages. I think that's pretty accurate. How does Representative Brooks sleep at night or look in the mirror? Ignorance with a mission. What a horrible liar. He's not being taken seriously by anyone, is the point here. Anyway, so Representative Mo Brooks, it is for being so ridiculously naive with your arguments that you win the Cooter Award for being the dumbest horn kicker I could find this week. Until next time.